Good afternoon and welcome back to Jonesy Chats Wrestling. We're back today discussing last night's WrestleMania 37, Night 1, joined by special guest none other than NXT Steve. How are you today, Steve?
What's happening, George? All right?
Good to see you. I take it you watch the show live. Crazy
I did
person.
indeed. You know, even after the 40-minute delay, sorry, I was just cleaning my camera because I realised it was smudged to hell. After that 40-minute delay at the start, but it went down all right after that.
Perfect. So we're going to cover last night's WrestleMania, the talking points coming out of it, out of Night 1. Obviously going to cover the rain and stuff like that, generally just a discussion. Obviously the late start of the show and stuff like that. It's going to be a really good review. Really want to hear your opinions in the comments of what you guys thought of the show. Let's kind of break it down then. So the show obviously starts up. We get this unusual weather delay, which was kind of shocking. It was a bit more dramatic to whether the show was going to happen or not. What was your reaction kind of watching live?
Well, like I said, when it first kicked in and it was like, they've done all the intros and stuff and and then all of a sudden it just cuts to Michael Cole sitting at the table and it's like, yeah, we're going to take a weather break. And it's like, oh, no, don't tell me this, man. I mean, I could have been asleep if this is going to get cancelled. But then I was sitting there thinking, it's Vince McMahon. There's no way this is getting cancelled, man. This is going to happen no matter what. And it's like, even Mother Nature couldn't stop it last night.
Definitely. It's kind of interesting that they did that whole thing on the stage with everybody there, the national anthem. You got Vince McMahon doing a big speech, but then they then cut to sort of, obviously, Michael Cole then saying that the show's delayed, which I thought it was kind of strange. I was surprised I was on the stage and doing that. I thought that would be after the show resumed, really. I'm surprised.
Yeah, obviously with his little we've been without you for the last year, this is for you kind of thing. You can see why he did it, but yeah, it's just with this weather warning constantly looming overhead, you would just get through it, man. Just get through the matches. I don't care about these segments. I don't care about adverts for Snickers and all this kind of stuff. Just get through the show, man. I want to see these matches.
Definitely. So obviously they went into sort of overdrive. They get this impromptu half an hour, 40 minutes, which is really fun, where we get loads of interviews, loads of hype. It really felt like a great kickoff show again, which I think a couple of highlights. We get Shane McMahon playing babyface, even though he's a heel. That was kind of fun. The segment was kind of drowning. We then get MVP come out and he rescues kind of the promo. We then get Drew make a cameo. Great heel heat between Drew and Lashley. I really enjoyed that. That really built up the tension. Drew really kind of come out. It's great they came out with this off the fluff. I'd like to see them do this more often rather than scripted promos. I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell from these interviews who's got natural charisma on a microphone compared to some people like Shane. I felt even Braun struggled with his one as well in some of his aspects. But yeah, you can just see who's got natural talent when given a microphone. Drew McIntyre, I mean, obviously he got a bit emotional towards the end of his comments and stuff like that. But you can imagine this guy has been a two-time champion and he hasn't seen a single fan hasn't seen him hold that title. So you can understand why it's emotional for him.
100%. So obviously the show does start up. We get the intro package, stuff like that. Really good, really cinematic. You can really tell it's a big occasion. Lovely explosions at the start. Lovely setting as well. Really like the arena. And it really felt big time. You can tell that this is WrestleMania, despite the fact that we've had the weather and stuff. The fact the fans were there, it was electric to a certain point. We're obviously opening up the match with we've got this Drew McIntyre Bobby Lashley match for the world title. I was really kind of impressed with this match. It didn't get a lot of they didn't really sort of have a lot of time. It took them a while to kind of get going, but in the end, we get a shock value. We get Bobby Lashley retaining. I didn't see that coming. That was a massive shock to me. I think you predicted it.
I did predict it.
A couple of things with this. I thought it was good. Interesting enough, they saw Drew get beat. I love the reaction Lashley got. I've only got one slight sort of complaint in hindsight. I don't know why they ever took the belt off of McIntyre in the first place, because McIntyre should have dropped the belt to Lashley at WrestleMania. It would have been far better than just losing the belt to Miz. It seemed to be totally not fit for purpose, really. What was your thoughts on the match in that?
Yeah, I mean, it started off a bit sort of obviously when you've done something for so long, but then the scenario changes. So obviously where they've never wrestled, they haven't wrestled in front of fans for over, 1 year, 1 month, 1 day. They seemed a bit lost to start with. They seemed a bit, because obviously they've got to get used to working from crowd reactions again. But apart from, say, the weird kind of start, and obviously the match, I predicted this the whole way. If they were going on first, there was no way that Drew was going to win this, because it was the only way that they could get Bobby to win this and keep that championship.
100%. I think that tope dive that Drew done was absolutely incredible. I know MVP's got a bad knee, but it was phenomenal, really. I think looking at it was a really, really good match. I think it kind of creates talking points. You've got the fact that Lashley's coming out of this. Who's he going to face? For me, I'm going to put this out there now. Lashley's next opponent. I can't believe I'm saying this. Apparently, it's going to be The Fiend. That's what they're talking about, unless they're going to do a rematch against Drew. Would you be a fan of seeing that, or is that too far-fetched? They're short of basically people to face Lashley on Raw, apparently.
They haven't got any baby faces that can fight for the title on Raw.
But apparently not. Unless they're going to do Drew and Lashley again, but I think they're going to save that down the line. I don't think, based on the build and stuff, I think they're going to save that for down the line probably.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know. I don't want to see that, man.
No, I did warn you before we went on.
It's the wrong person to fight Bobby. Bobby shouldn't be fighting people like The Fiend, man. He should be fighting people like Drew, like Brock, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a weird. Well, like I said, if they can book it properly, it should be all right. But I very much doubt that's going to happen.
I hope not. I hope it's wrong. Going to go to the comments quickly. Got one here from Mike Carrillo. Hello, Martin. Thank you for checking that stream. Bobby versus Drew was hard hitting. Strength exposing match. Great opener. 100% agree with all the comments. It was fantastic. They've gone so far from their time in TNA, and I think this was really, really good. Have you got anything else kind of you want to add before we move forward?
No, so yeah, it was a good opener. I'm glad that was the opener because, like I said, getting used to just watching them get used to it again, and obviously, it was just really awkward because of obviously the weather and all that kind of stuff. Like there'd be parts around the outside of the ring, and there's still puddles of water on like the canvas outside, and I'm like,
I agree.
Really strange scenario to get used to because obviously I can't remember a Mania where it's ever rained before.
No, usually they've got a retractable roof, haven't they, and stuff. But the fact that they weren't prepared, which is kind of strange.
Yeah, these are the dangers you have with having it in an outdoor arena. But yeah, it was just really strange to get used to. But no, it's a good match. It was a good start to the night.
Definitely going to go to the comments. I've got a good one here. Kobe Talks. Hello, Kobe. Thanks for checking that stream. Lashley versus Cedric versus Shelton on the next pay-per-view. If only. We wish. No. I think the Hurt Business, based on their booking in the Andre Giant Battle Royal, I think they're going to be jobbers. I don't see them going into world title matches, unfortunately, although I'd be a fan of it. It would make sense.
Fortunately, Vince isn't their biggest fan, which is a shame to see because everyone knows how good Cedric is. Do you know what I mean? I can't remember last time I see him do a lumbar check. That lumbar check of his is phenomenal.
Is good. I've got one last thing kind of say for this as well. The reason why I don't think it will be Drew versus Lashley again next month is because of the finish. I think the way that you had Drew obviously tap out or submit, I think that's not a way you book a babyface challenger to go back again next month. I think it was so definite and such a defining win, if that makes sense for Lashley. I don't know if you agree with that. That's the reason why I said probably they might do Fiend versus Lashley.
That's why I said weeks ago, like I said, been saying for weeks that I think Bobby was going to win. I think Drew's next thing there should be just keep him out of the title frame for a while. Put him in a tag team with Sheamus. I want to see Celtic Warriors, man. I want to see the pair of them together. I want to see them because those two against AJ and Omos for them Raw tag team titles. That'd be amazing.
Definitely. I'm going to quickly go sort of backwards in a little bit. So we obviously had as well, I forgot to mention, we had Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan start the show, obviously hosting it. What was your reaction to that? For me, it was a waste of time. They had no value. It was great to Titus there. Hulk Hogan's years out of date, and the host generally serve no purpose, do they?
They tried to make a big deal out of the first entrance, and the first entrance is Titus O'Neil, followed by Hulk Hogan, who has a sketchy relationship with crowds as it is, and he actually got booed. And it was like, why have you done this, man? It was absolute waste of time.
Definitely. We then obviously had this backstage promo. We had the NWO Bayley and Titus O'Neil. It was great to see Bayley there. For me, Bayley's just getting brushed off. This was a total waste of time. I don't really know what the purpose of this backstage segment was. I get you got Hall of Famers there and stuff. It gets Bayley on camera, but why do these segments backstage where they don't go anywhere? It just seems to be a real waste of time in my opinion. When you've already wasted numerous amounts of time building up to the show. Yeah,
something popped Scott Hall really hard that Titus said, but I watched it back 2 or 3 times. I couldn't understand what Titus said for Scott Hall to give him a pop. But then you had Nash blanks her when she tries to get a 2-sweet, but then Hall and Pac end up giving her a 2-sweet, and then Hogan just goes his own way, and it was like, it's just a pointless segment, man. Again, with this weather warning over the top, you shouldn't have these in here, man. Just get rid of them.
You just want to get to the matches, didn't you? In case it's going to rain, basically. But no, definitely. You got anything else you want to add before we go to the next match?
No, go for it, man.
Okay, so this was terrifying, this next match. We've got the tag team turmoil match. Obviously, we've got Naomi, Lana, Carmella, Billie Kay starting it. Very quick match. We get Carmella and Billie Kay getting kind of the win there. We then get Carmella and Billie Kay facing the Right Squad. This was a non-starter as well. We get the Right Squad getting the win. We then have Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke versus Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan. On the way up, Mandy Rose unfortunately slipped up. I did feel kind of bad for her. It must have been not great slipping up and then obviously having to go in the ring. Just showed how dangerous the conditions were. Obviously with that, we then get the Right Squad once again kind of go over. We then end up with the Right Squad facing Natalya and Tamina. The Right Squad kind of put up a good effort, but they got ultimately beat. So Natalya and Tamina, carrying the good work they've done recently, they're going through and they advanced. They got a title shot tonight. What was your thoughts?
Wrong decision. Heels versus heels for a tag team title match on the second night Mania is the wrong decision. They gave Liv and Ruby too much of a push.
Offense.
Yeah, too much of a push for them to just lose in the end. It was silly. I mean, don't get me wrong. Looking at it as a whole, you had Liv and Ruby look really good in their Joker Harley Quinn tag team gear. Naomi and Lana look really good. Every time, I'll tell you what, praise to Lana as well, because she's getting really good in ring now. She used to, I felt, really struggle like a year or so ago, but recently she seems to have got a lot better in ring. Mandy and Dana, Dana's so good as well, technically gifted. This shared potential to be a really good match. It just unfortunately was booked really, really bad.
I really thought we'd get sort of Naomi and Lana win, but the fact we didn't get anything really from Billie Kay and Carmella, I was disappointed. Although Billie Kay had some great moments, she was comedic, but it was just a mismatch. And this just was one of the worst matches of the night, unfortunately, for me. It didn't work, and it just shows what's wrong with the Raw Women's Tag Team division.
Yeah, I mean, like it had high spots, like that new double team finisher that Liv and Ruby have, that sort of gut check with Ruby doing a senton-off top rope was really impressive. But yeah, like I said, it's just bad booking. I mean, and especially with Billie Kay, and like you was talking with Steve on your SmackDown review, and I popped up. That everyone can see that just being a new Miz Damien Sandown look. And why have they got this? Why has Vince got this thing about repeating old gimmicks? Like he keeps trying to do this one gimmick with the female superstars. You know, he had Tenille Dashwood try to be like this high class sort of wrestler, and then that got scrapped on the.
That was the Emma gimmick, wasn't it? Was it when she was Emma?
Yeah,
and
when she was
had
Emma.
Vignettes for about 12 weeks or whatever it was.
She comes out on the first night, and then she goes back to being normal Emma. And then he's done that again with. He did it with Carmella, and he did it with someone else as well. It's just what is his fantasy with booking the same gimmick? What is he trying to get over with these same repeat gimmicks?
Before we kind of go forward, then, so are they going to win tonight? Who's going to win tonight? We're going to get the Nia and Shayna win, or we're going to get new tag team champions? What's your prediction?
I'd like to see Tamina win, just because Tamina's never won a title, and I'm not being funny. She's been there for 10 years plus, and it'd just be nice for her to win something. I mean, I'm not being funny. This WrestleMania kind of feels like it's built a lot on moments for a lot of people, and Tamina not winning anything, this could be her WrestleMania moment. This could be possibly the highlight of her career, is winning tag team gold at WrestleMania.
100% agree with it. In terms of prediction from me, I believe, let me weigh this out, who's going to win. I think they're going to retain. I'd like to see them sort of lose. You've really got to start this drama with Reginald now. Reginald's obviously aligned with Nia and Shayna. They've got to have a breakup at some point. That's got to come. But for me, I think we're going to get a retainment tonight. I might be wrong, but my predictions retain. But it's good we've got different opinions. That's for sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. This is the problem with it, though, because if they retain, who's going to take them titles off them? If the rumors are true and it's supposed to be a certain Hall of Famers, we can go into that. The Bellas are meant to be coming back, aren't they? That was the supposed rumor as well, which I don't know. I know that they were on the Watch Along show, which I haven't obviously seen. I don't know if they hinted that and obviously they were 20 and 20 inductees, so they were also on the stage later on in the night. But you're burying too many female superstars just for the sake of some Hall of Famers that are going to come back, win the titles once, and then lose them again, and probably never be seen again. It kills the locker room. Yeah,
it does. Going to go into something that actually made me much more happier. We're going to go into the Cesaro-Seth Rollins match. Absolutely phenomenal.
What a match.
Expectations away. Really, really good. They got a good amount of time. A load of swings as well. Obviously, Cesaro picking up the much-needed win. The Cesaro push is on the way. This guy's definitely being groomed for Roman Reigns, I think, or a world title shot later in the year. You can see it. But quality match. You can see why these guys were in this position in the card. What was your thoughts?
Oh, man, the second the bell rung and he comes out with that first European uppercut in 2 seconds, I was like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And, oh, man, I'm not disappointed at all, man. The stuff they were pulling off in this, you got the stomp reverse into a European uppercut, Cesaro taking a pedigree, which you haven't seen Seth doing forever. Yeah, man, this is absolutely amazing match.
Definitely. Have you got any thoughts on that before we go forward?
No, man, just I said, like you said with Cesaro, I hope he gets a world title shot, man. That guy has been long overdue.
I think he's definitely going to get one later in the year. They're grooming. Obviously, he was on that push where he beat Daniel Bryan back in January, and he couldn't do the job in the Elimination Chamber, so they are definitely pushing him. I think the push is there. As a world champion or challenging world champion, I'd like to see him Roman Reigns eventually. I think that would be a good match.
At least see him get a shot. And it doesn't necessarily have to. Don't get me wrong, I want to see him win it, but I think for his technical ability, he is 10 years. He's been in the WWE for 10 years now, and he's never had a singles title match. He's done everything else apart from be a world champion, which is, this guy is supposed to be pound for pound the strongest wrestler in the WWE, for everything. And it's just, it's a joke to how he's been treated the last 10 years.
Definitely, I agree with you. We then obviously had this backstage interview. Dolph Ziggler, Rob Roode, the Dirty Dogs tag team champions. Just a random kind of interview with Caleb Braxton. I don't really get what the point of it was. I thought it was there really to hint at a match on the kickoff show tonight. I thought that's what the point of it was, but I don't know what the purpose of it was. It was more time wasting. What was your take from it?
It was just getting their opinions on who would win the Raw tag team titles. It was a waste of time.
Surely you should have built a match for tonight, though. You obviously could have done the Mysterios facing the Dirty Dogs tonight in front of the crowd. Maybe I would have thought you'd want to sort of do that. I thought that was the purpose of these type of segments, to build stuff up. Really,
is there anything for the pre-show tonight, like the women's Memorial Battle Royal or anything?
No, I don't think they've said anything. I haven't heard anything today. But the fact that it's another hour again.
I'm not being funny. That's probably the most you're going to see of Roode and Ziggler for the next 5 weeks, because I very much doubt you'll see them on SmackDown, because like they've been used the last 5 weeks on SmackDown, they've been on it 2-3 times in one segment. Do you know what I mean? I think the match Friday just gone was, I think, their first match on TV since they've won the titles.
They've got to start defending the belt more. I agree, 100%. They've got to start being defending champions, but
unify them.
Or unify, that would be the sensible decision, definitely. Moving forward, then, we obviously had the Raw Tag Team Championship. This is a very interesting match. We've got the New Day facing AJ Styles and Omos, the much-awaited debut of AJ Styles and Omos. Really, really interesting match. A lot of psychology in this match. So, most of the match, AJ Styles is working babyface. The New Day is stopping him tagging into Omos. When he does tag in, they're working heel, which is strange. When they tag into Omos, the cheer for Omos, I'll put it out there now, Omos is going to be a babyface by the end of this year. I'm sure of it. Omos, you can see that he's going to be a babyface. I reckon they should turn AJ and Omos babyface now. The crucial thing of it, obviously, in the end, Omos gets tagged in. He then does some, he does very basic moves, but it looks impressive. The crowd are loving it. In the end, Omos just basically kind of puts his foot and gets the pin. New tag team champions, AJ Styles, the Grand Slam winner. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, Omos is the first ever person to debut at Mania and win a title. I think there's only ever been 6 before him, but the 6 before him, only 2 of them have had title opportunities. But Omos is the first person to ever win championship gold in his debut match at WrestleMania. It's madness, man. That's it. It'll be one of them random facts that you'll be doing on a pub quiz 10 years down the line.
Definitely. I thought it was good. I thought it was really
just
good.
To say, it was just the whole heel face dynamic. It was really strange, because obviously you've got New Day, who are face but a talking heel, acting heel, and then when Omos gets that massive pop, and it's just like, it was madness, man. Really, really strange.
Yeah, no, really strange. Obviously, new tag team champions, as predicted. I think it's great. It's interesting what they do. I don't know how they're going to get a belt off Omos at the moment. This guy looked like $1 million. But I'm interested to see where the next challenge comes from. Where they're going to defend the belt next. But I thought this was fun. This match surprised me. I thought everybody came across credit, and it was a great debut for Omos. It shows that he has got some potential, 100%, which is far better than his previous gimmick as a super ninja and all the other nonsense that we had before.
Like I said, a lot of people worried he was going to be super green, but some of the stuff, like he was doing like corner to corner, like splashes, and he turned out really well from like you've seen worse people, like you've seen better people have worse debuts than Omos. So it was a good showing for him.
Definitely. So we're going into this steel cage match, Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. For me, I was dreading this match going in. I thought it's been built up atrociously, but looking at the match, obviously as the match starts, we get Elias and Jackson making their cameo. They take out Braun's legs. The match is quite entertaining in parts. Obviously, it's a lot of Shane McMahon running away. It looks like Shane McMahon's going to escape. Braun then pulls him back through the cage. He actually rips the cage up. And he then ends up with kind of throwing Shane McMahon off the cage, which was crazy. I thought that was a great bump. Shane McMahon's obviously 52 years old or 51 years old. He's taking bumps like that. Mick Foley would be proud. In the end, Braun gets the win. It was the right decision. The bully obviously gets his comeuppance, which is what we said all on. That was kind of going to be the payoff. For me, we had no slime, no choo-choo noises. I was impressed with this. I thought they did as best as they could. And I thought this made up for the poor build. What was your thoughts?
I'll tell you what, I give props to Braun with his entrance, because that entrance with the steam, obviously, it looks really impressive for an entrance. And I was just like, I sat and thought as soon as this match started, we're not going to get any choo-choo noises because he's in a cage. We're going to avoid that one tonight, because obviously people would have probably booed the hell out of it. But I like what I said for weeks. It was entertaining, which is what it was always planned to be. Shane McMahon taking a flat back front flip off the top of a cage at, like you said, 50 odd years old. That guy's mad. I'm not being funny. He can't be doing that, man. He's got kids to think of.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm gonna quickly kind of go to the comments. I got a good one here from Martin Carrillo. Hello, Martin. Thanks for your comment. I hope AJ Styles improves or revives the Raw Tag Team division and brings prestige to the titles. 100%. I hope he does. I think if we can get 5 or 6 teams there that are credible, it could be like the good old days where we had Demolition, Legion of Doom, I'm showing my age now. Teams like that that you would look forward to seeing every single week, or even the Hardy Boys, Edge and Christian Dudley Boys as well. I think if we get something like that, I think that'd be good. Have you got anything you want to add on that comment?
No, so he's right. Like, hopefully, AJ's got the capability to bring prestige to him, but it's just like ideally you need to merge them titles because you've got too few tag teams split between two brands. Like if you break it down, you've got what the Usos, you've got Chad, you got Gable, Chad Gable, and
Alpha Academy.
Who I think Otis are pushing to be a Monster Hill. I think he's going to replace who's the guy? Lars Sullivan. I think Otis is going to be a Monster Hill. By the result from Friday. You've got the Dirty Dogs, the Mysterios. That's 4 teams. Do you know what I mean? Plus the Mysterios. There's not many full-on tag teams. I mean, you got the Vikings when they come back, once one of them picks up their injuries, but there's just not enough tag teams to justify 2 belts.
Definitely. You got anything else you add before we go into the next match?
No, go for it, man.
Yeah, so we got The Miz and Morrison facing Bad Bunny and Priest. What a match. I kind of enjoyed this. There's a lot of good things to it. So the intro was fantastic. I love the whole Bad Bunny with the bunnies, and we got a live version of the song Hip Hop there as well. The crowd were loving it. Even though they were miming, you can tell they were miming. It was just such good fun. We then get, obviously, Damian Priest enter. Lovely entrance for Priest, and then from nowhere we get this truck. As you said off the air, I'll give you the credit. We thought Becky Lynch would be in the truck driving or something like that, but the truck comes out. Bad Bunny obviously looks like $1 million in that respect. You can tell he's a star. He comes out, he gets such a pop and stuff. But in ring, this match was incredible. Bad Bunny worked 90% of the match. This guy's probably never had a wrestling match. You can tell he's put the work in. It does end up with some crazy bumps. We get a spot where Bad Bunny does the Canadian Destroyer outside. I don't know. I could not believe he did that move. That was insane. It does end up kind of with Bad Bunny picking up the win. An interesting note, Damian Priest actually was going into this match with a back injury, which is why Bad Bunny did most of the work.
I was going to say, because, this actually made Priest look weak. The fact that Bunny was in this 75% of the time.
Yeah, I think the thing is, obviously, this is why they had the delay on the tag team division, if that makes sense, whether it was going to be a tag team or singles match because of the injury. But this is how to debut somebody, a celeb, into wrestling. I thought the Pete McAfee debut was incredible. But now, or Pat McAfee, sorry, I thought that debut was incredible. But Bad Bunny, this guy was a star, and I want to see him do something else. What was your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, Canadians Destroyers on the outside, man. That's just the maddest thing. But even the best part as well is like the cinematography. When you had the cameraman turn and cut to Miz after he'd done that Canadian Destroyer, it was great. Miz done some great work in this. Just say a fantastic match, a great insight to Bad Bunny and how much of he's been a fan of it. Obviously, he's been working at the CWC as well. Trying to get ready for this match. Like I said, my only worry was Priest, because obviously Priest wasn't in it for very long.
No.
But yeah, like you've just explained, an injury stopped him from doing that, which makes a lot more sense. And obviously they get the win with the typical celebrity finisher, which is a splash off the top rope, which is always a good one.
Definitely. I think I've got to give credit to, I know people don't like Miz and Morrison, but the credit to them, they made Bad Bunny look $1 million.
Exactly. Which is what they were put in that spot to do.
And this is a Miz that had the world title belt. It just seems crazy he had the belt, but the fact he's in this spot, Bad Bunny came across $1 million. Damian Priest looked good. But no, really, really good match. Have you got anything else you want to add before we go to the next kind of match?
I'll go for the next one, man.
Okay, got a comment here. I'll just go to the comment quickly. Hi, Steve. Steve from SCW, the wrestling channel. Hey, hop, guys. Hope you're doing well. Great WrestleMania. 100% agree. It's going to get better based on this main event, I think, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Going to go into this now. So obviously we had this main event, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. Obviously the match starts. We get both of them kind of looking emotional. They can tell what's obviously going on. They can tell sort of how grandeur and the point of this. What a fantastic match. This was phenomenal. I think some key parts, obviously the part where Bianca whipped Sasha, that looked that looked painful.
They've been holding that back for about a year, because I think she done it once on TV when she first debuted, and no one's ever seen it since. And it was like, everyone's like, why doesn't Bianca just use her hair like she used to? Oh my God, the impact. That was amazing.
I think the good thing with this, you could tell that Sasha's obviously working heel, the way she was taunting Bianca and stuff like that. I think the 450 splash and stuff was pretty crazy, but the finish, obviously, in the end, we do get this finish where it looks like there's going to be a KOD, and then it appears she's kicked out, but she hasn't. So Bianca has got the KOD, she gets the pinfall, and then it's obviously really emotional. That kind of wraps up the night, if that makes sense. For me, probably match of the year this was. I think it was so good. For a WrestleMania main event, we knew it was going to be good, but this blew my expectations away. This is what WrestleMania should be. Despite the poor booking and build of this feud, this match made more than made up for it. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, to back off what I said, like we was talking when we did the predictions, and I turned around and said that Bianca Belair has earned the right to main event WrestleMania from winning the Rumble. And my God, did she justify a main event in that WrestleMania match, because it was fantastic. Obviously, the emotions getting to him at the start, I think, was a bit of a negative thing, because don't get me wrong, I'm not critiquing them for it, because obviously the situation, being in front of fans for the first time in over a year and all that kind of stuff, I get it. But yeah, just from the word go, it was amazing, man. And some of the best wrestling that I've seen in a long time in WWE product.
I'll put it out there now. I think for me, this was the turning point. I think this could be sort of Bianca and Sasha could be a feud that could be this generation's equivalent of a Rock Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can see us having this match again at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah.
And I can see this being the start of many matches, if that makes sense, because these guys are that level above probably anything else on the roster.
You look at the core foundation of this women's roster. So you've got Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, Becky, Bianca, Rhea, Asuka, Io Shirai, if she comes up, man. These are all main eventers. They're not even like B card or like mid card, or do you know what I mean? Not even on the show wrestlers. These are all top event women's wrestlers, man. And yeah, I mean, man.
That's not to mention Ronda Rousey. She's coming back as well. That you got that as well.
Yeah,
You've got
exactly.
so many wrestlers that are that good.
It's just, that's what I mean. And this is why the tag division is just it's just so buried, because they've got too many main eventers to focus on, man. It's a good thing having all the talent, but it's just they've just got to make sure they can get it all on the telly.
Definitely. I'm going to quickly go to the comments. We've got some great comments here. Martin Carrillo, thank you, Martin, again for your comment. I hope they save this rematch down the line. WF to do this special match again, without a doubt, 100%. I hope they don't do it at SummerSlam. Let's save it for Mania next year, where we're going to have 80,000 fans potentially back, because I think the fans will eat it up. You can put different stipulations into it. You can make it an Iron Man match, a ladder match. You can do loads of different stuff.
Have the reverse and have Sasha win the Rumble.
Yeah, that could be fun.
Have her challenge Bianca at Mania next year as a reverse. That'd be 100%. A good idea.
That'd be good. I'm going to go to the comment here. Steve, thank you for your comment for SCW. A Star is Born. Congrats, Bella. 100% agree. Congratulations to Bella. I've only got one.
I'll contradict that one. She wasn't a star, but she wasn't a star born. She was just a star that got a hell of a lot brighter there.
Yeah, definitely 100% agree with you, mate. I've only got kind of one thing. I think the only thing I'd like to have seen probably at the end of the show was I'd love to have seen Sasha take out Bianca. Just let's take the moment away from her. I get it's a feel good moment. I get Sasha was selling the injury and all this lot, but for me, this is the point where we need somebody to come in, say this is your next challenger, whether it be Becky Lynch, Walkout, or whoever. I think that's the thing. I'm always looking, as a wrestling fan, being kind of born on the Attitude Era, I'm always looking for that next chapter. I know it's a feel good moment, but for me, I think that's the only thing they miss, really. Because I think if you had that shot value, someone take the limelight away from her, it's going to get heel heat. Whoever you bring out there to interrupt this moment, it's going to get people talking.
Yeah, it would have been a really controversial moment if they'd have had someone come out. But again, you can see why they haven't done it, because it's obviously Mania. But yeah, with regards to Sasha, she was too busy smiling on the outside, looking at Bianca, man. So yeah, just all in all, a great main event, man, and actually a really good night to night one. I hope night two goes off without a problem. I know there's supposed to be severe lightning and even more rain tonight.
Weather's meant to be worse, isn't it, supposedly? Yeah, but I'm going to quickly go to it then. So let's go to, I think this is going to be an easy question, but if we go to sort of match of the night and what's your overall rating of the show? I'll let you go first.
I'm going to go for an 8. No, actually, no, I lie. I'm going to go 9, because I think the Cesaro match, the Belair Sasha Banks match, and the Drew Bobby match were all really good matches that deserved it, that made the event special. Obviously, it's just the fact that the tag teams match sort of let it down. The Shane Braun match was just filler, really. I'm going to go 9, because, like I said, I think it deserves a 9 just for that ending, because, yeah, it's been a long time coming for Bianca Belair to win it.
I'm going to go, I want to go, I'll probably go for 8 out of 10. I think the thing is, it was all fantastic. Apart from that tag team turmoil match, every other match blew my expectation away. I think the only thing that I would have liked to make it kind of better, to be like a 9 or a 10, would have been if we had decent build going into these matches. I think if there was decent storylines going in and there was genuine reason to want to see them. The problem I do have with some of this is we've had Reginald waste time. What was the point of Reginald and this build up to Sasha Bianca that took months away from this feud? Yeah, I think if we've got to start having payoffs, they've got to start doing stuff, not just doing stuff one week and then dropping it the next. Because I think for me as a fan, we're investing time watching this stuff. It's great in ring. The wrestlers are fantastic. It's a great feel-good story, but you don't go to the film and see the ending at the beginning. You know what I mean? That there's a plot line, there's different sort of
exactly.
for the plot. I think that's kind of the only thing I'd say that's missing from this. Have you got anything else you want to add about the show before we kind of go forward?
No, just say, do you reckon that tonight's going to be better than night one?
It's going to be hard, but I think so. I think definitely. If we look at night two, then
it's the main event, isn't it?
Yeah. We'll look at night two quickly, just before I go to the last kind of news story I've got here. So night two, we've obviously got a stat card. We've got Big E, Apollo Crews, Nigerian drum fight. What's your sort of thoughts of that?
As long as they don't, well, I was about to swear then. As long as they don't mess it up like they did at Fastlane, that match should be really good. Like I said, the Fastlane match was going to be really good until that botched. Well, I don't even know if it was botched. That weird pinfall that happened. Yeah. If you're comparing it, that's probably along the lines of Bobby Drew. That's probably your comparison for tonight with a match, that one. I
think it'll be good. I think it'll be hard hitting. For me, Apollo has to win. This is Apollo's match, but I think this will be fun. If Apollo loses this, I don't know where he goes next. Look, I'll name some other matches and get your thoughts. So we've obviously got this Riddle-Sheamus match. What's your thoughts?
Well, I said Sheamus, but then you said the other day that you've gone with Riddle, and I can see Riddle. Why, because I think start of the week, a lot of the challengers were favourites to win, or if not a lot, all of them were favourites to win the matches. But yeah, I'd want to see Sheamus win it just for the fact of a payoff of all his hard work that he's put in since the Royal Rumble. I
agree. The thing is, if Riddle does win, I'm predicting Riddle wins. I don't know how he does it because I can't see him. Although this is a guy that picked up a win against sort of Bobby Lashley, John Morrison to get the belt in the first place. This is a guy that's beat Bobby Lashley this year as well. I know it was a fluke. This guy can put out an interesting thing, but I think this will be hard hitting. Yeah. I think this could be really, really good. I think this could be the Cesaro, Seth Rollins of night two to some point. Actually, no, that's exactly. Probably Ron. That's probably Ron, actually. I think the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn's probably going to be that equivalent. But I think it'll be a fun match, as you said. Quickly going to some other matches on night two then. We've obviously got, as we said, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Logan Paul. Excited for this match? What's your thoughts?
I'm hoping Kevin Owens wins because I want to see Sammy carry on this conspiracy theory. I want this conspiracy theory to have a bigger payoff in the end rather than just winning at Mania. I want to see it lead somewhere further down the line. I want Sammy to go full aliens, flat Earth dynamic with it, man. I want all that kind of stuff involved.
Definitely. I think it'll be fun. Clearly, Logan Paul's going to be involved in the finish. I've been saying all along, this is Kevin Owens winning. I'd love to see Kevin Owens go off that ship. That ship wasn't even used. Maybe because of the rain and stuff. Maybe that's why they can't use the background or the set to a certain point. But for me, Kevin Owens to win and then Logan Paul to celebrate with him. I think Logan Paul's not going to know who Sami Zayn is tonight. I think he's going to brush him off. And I think Sami Zayn wins this. It doesn't go anywhere. I think Kevin Owens has to kind of win one and done, really. I think this would be great, though, in I'm pretty sure it'll be one of the matches of the night.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Definitely. Going to go to sort of some of the other matches we've got. So we've obviously got this Fiend Randy Orton match. I don't know how to really describe this. This isn't going to be a straight up singles match, I believe. This is going to be
cinematic, apparently, yeah. And it's like I don't understand how this is going to be done. To be fair, I think this is the end of a really bad feud. I think this is
Randy Orton's final goodbye for me. I think this is Randy Orton going away for a while. The Fiend, obviously, he can't lose this. This is it'll be fun. I'm hoping Alexa does something because she's had no chance to do anything on WrestleMania this year. So
yeah, they reckon she's going to have a mask and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yeah, I think burning the Fiend alive was a bad payoff for the Fiend because now you've got crispy fried Fiend going forward, and I just like you said, if he's going to be Bobby's next competitor, I just don't understand how that's going to work.
I think this is the equivalent of the tag team turmoil match from night two. This match we've just discussed. I would say it's probably one of them that could be. Looking at the other matches we got here, we've got Asuka Rhea Ripley. I'm looking forward to this. This hasn't had much build. They had to panic when obviously Charlotte was unable to sort of commit to WrestleMania. They've slotted Rhea Ripley in this. For me, I want to see Rhea Ripley win. It'll be a shame for her to go to WrestleMania again this year and not get the job done. So I'm hoping we get a new champion. What's your thoughts of the match? Excited?
Exactly that. Yeah, I'm a massive Rhea Ripley fan, and I love Asuka. Asuka has been the unsung hero of the last year during this sort of pandemic era of wrestling. I mean, all her character work's been great, especially at stuff like Money in the Bank. She deserved to be in the main event, but I think Rhea Ripley should be winning this. And not being funny, She obviously lost to Charlotte last year. This needs justification for losing last year. She needs to win this year.
Definitely, I agree with you. I think sort of looking this forward then. So the last few matches we've got this tag team match, as we said earlier. We discussed it briefly. Nia Jax, Shayna, Natalya, Tamina. I think this will be okay. I think they very much want to do Nia Jax and Tamina. That seems to be the direction they're going based on SmackDown last week. Do you think this will be fun, or do you think it'll be quite a quick match?
I've got a feeling it's probably going to be quite a quick match, but like I said, I'd prefer Tamina to win just because she's never won gold in the WWE. It's a match I could probably do without. Like if I was like you and I was watching this tomorrow, this would probably be a match I'd just skip forward straight to the end just to see the last 2 minutes to see what happened.
Definitely, I'll probably watch it, but I'm going to skip the entrances. I believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's no disrespect to the women in the ring.
Yeah.
It's just that I've got no interest in it. I'm not interested in the story, nothing like that. Like, don't get me wrong, Natty's they're all great wrestlers. I love Shayna Baszler. I just would have preferred her to have been a solo wrestler going for titles. This woman came into the main roster and she bit Becky Lynch on the back of the neck, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's all been forgotten though.
Yeah, and then now she's stuck doing a tag team role with Nia Jax.
And Reginald. Shopping trips.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get it, mate. Definitely.
Yeah, you know, this former UFC fighter stuck going shopping at Macy's and all this kind of stuff. It's stupid, man.
Definitely. Going to quickly sort of go on to the last match. So this one's really interesting. Triple threat match for the Universal title. We've obviously got Roman Reigns with Heyman, Edge and Daniel Bryan. This one, very, very good. It's nice to be going into this pay-per-view, WrestleMania, having Roman Reigns actually have a chance of losing the title. I think it makes it exciting. Any one of the three can win it. Based on last night, my original thought was Edge all along, but I'm really leaning more towards I think Roman may retain. I really hope that Roman does retain, or the unthinkable happens. Daniel Bryan wins, but for me, I think it's I think Roman Reigns retains. What's your prediction and thoughts excited for this?
I'd like to say the other day, I think
it's
Daniel Bryan. I'd be more shocked if it wasn't Daniel Bryan. Like he's the baby face against two heels. The crowd are gonna go mad if he wins. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy whoever wins. I like all three of them. Like I said, Roman's been doing some of the best work. I'm a big Edge fan. But Daniel Bryan is that natural baby face. He's got that natural awe to him that people just love and get behind. And he's got to win, man. It just makes the most sense.
I think it'll be interesting. It'll be a shock. Definitely,
Yeah,
it'll create the feel good. And I think it'll be fun. I think the fact we don't know who's going to win. One thing for sure, if Roman is losing the belt, I don't see Roman getting pinned here. I think it's either Edge or Daniel Bryan that's taking the pinfall tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I jokingly made the thing that Daniel Bryan's going to make Roman tap out, but yeah, no, it will definitely be Edge or Daniel taking the pinfall submission, whatever it will be. I can't see Roman, who's their top guy, getting the loss here. No way.
The guy that hasn't had a singles pin since 2019 December. It's insane, isn't it? That it's almost as good as Walter. I think that win streak definitely. But going to go to the comments quickly just before the end of the show. Steve from SCW, how did Titus not slide? Agreed. That could have been a great cameo. There's
a what was it? I think it was on Mandy's Instagram where she's doing a video and Titus walks up to her and says, "Don't worry, it happens to the best of us." Reference.
Good. Definitely. Got a good one here from Martin Carrillo as well. Thank you, comment Martin. If Rhea wins tonight, well, 3 stars already made in Raquel, Bianca, Rhea. 100% agree. I think them 3 are.
Look at that, all NXT superstars, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Definitely.
These 3 are great, man.
It's just when they come up from NXT, they've just got to stay good. That's the
true.
thing.
Yeah, they've just got to get booked right, unfortunately. Yeah, but the thing is the women tend to defend a lot fairer and a lot better than what the men do. Like a lot of the men get buried, but half the women do all right. I mean, obviously, Asuka losing to Charlotte when Asuka had been undefeated for 3 years was a bit of a shock, but she's recovered well. She's currently Raw Women's Champion. She can't go wrong.
For tonight, until tonight, anyway, we say.
Tonight, yeah, exactly.
Definitely. That's kind of it from our WrestleMania show. We have got one last kind of news story I'm going to run through this quickly, Steve. So apparently last night broke. They're going to be making some major changes to the Raw announce team, apparently, as of tomorrow night at the new, obviously, Yulin Center. So what we've got, obviously, is that Tom Phillips, unfortunately, I know there was a COVID rumor. He potentially might have COVID. It's just a rumor that's gone round. He's obviously wasn't on WrestleMania last night. Hence, Michael Cole called the whole show. They've already apparently going to bring in former ESPN announcer Adnan Virk. And he's obviously then going to be joined by Corey Graves as well. So Samoa Joe may be free to come up and start wrestling again, which I thought would be phenomenal. What was your thoughts of that? Are you excited about this?
It's a shame for Tom Phelps because I really liked him on the Raw commentary. I mean, it was the same with Nigel McGuinness. Now I know Nigel McGuinness
is great.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, he got released, but they now re-signed him because he's now doing commentary for NXT UK. But yeah, when he was on NXT, he was great. Tom Phelps his commentary was really, really good. I'll be honest with you, these changes with the commentary team is so, like, I'm not being funny. You remember growing up in the 90s, your life is built on JR and
the King
commentating.
100%. JR the King was incredible.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what I mean? We have memories of this, and obviously you get to the 2000s where it was then Michael Cole and the King and all this kind of stuff. And then over the last years, you've had the whole Booker T doing commentary was great, but they keep chopping and changing these commentary teams. Man, I just feel sorry for Tom Phillips because what's he going to do now? because he can't get onto the NXT commentary table because the three of them are doing really good. If he goes to SmackDown? Fair enough. As long as they find a place for him.
I hope they do something for him because he's fairly good. I'm interested to know about this Adnan Virk. I don't know anything about him. Let's see how good he is. But it's a big debut coming in the Raw after WrestleMania to make your kind of debut. I think it's one of them things, but I just think it's an interesting decision. I hope it all goes well with Tom Phillips, and sorry to obviously hear the news as well. But more importantly, I think Samoa Joe coming back to the ring. This is the spot. If you are going to bring him back, I would love to have seen him come in last night.
Please give this guy
or even tonight.
Title run, man. Samoa Joe. Do you remember when he was feuding and he was cutting promos on Paul Heyman? Oh my God, Samoa Joe is the most naturally gifted on the microphone. It's unreal. How this guy has never had a title run as well. It's just shocking.
I agree with you. I'd love to see Samoa Joe Walter. I can dream, but what about your preferred Samoa Joe Walter, Brock Lesnar? I can dream, eh?
Yeah, exactly, man. But
Karen Cross in there, you got a fatal four-way. Then I don't know how good it'll be, but it'll be hard in. Going to quickly go to the comments. I got one here from Review Geek 3000. Thank you for your comment, mate. Thank you for checking out the stream. They can't keep changing these comment streams every week. We agree, 100%. I think it's. I echo that sentiment.
Who was the guy who's now part of, or was part of Retribution?
Oh yeah, I need to talk about
T-Bar.
T-Bar.
He used to be on commentary, didn't he? Yeah,
Dio Madden. It's also Mace. He's Mace now. So
Mace, sorry, yeah. He used to be on the Raw commentary table until Vince didn't like him and chopped and changed him as well, and he did really well. It's just, man, they just need to stop doing this. People forget that generations are brought up on the commentary teams. Like, I was blessed to have Jerry the King and JR do my commentary for the 90s, man. Them great JR moments and stuff, and you just don't get that if they keep changing these. Like, don't get me wrong, Corey Graves seems to be a sort of a foundation there of color commentary, so it's fine with him. But he's your play-by-play commentator. It needs to be someone who people are going to remember for years down the line.
I'm going to go to the comments. I got a great one from Steve. I agree with this comment, Steve, so I'll go to it quickly. I miss Ronaldo.
Yes.
100%. Ronaldo never got the fair break he deserved in WWE.
100%. Mauro Ronaldo was great, man. I was so gutted when he left NXT, man. He had some of the his charisma and everything was just amazing. I miss his Mamma Mia's so much.
Oh, he was so good. Got a couple of good ones here. Martin Carrillo, this is the money comment. I agree with you, mate. I've pat on the back for this. Would love to see Nigel McGuinness on SmackDown commentary or Wade Barrett. Both be good.
Yeah.
100%. Wade Barrett is killing it in NXT. I think he's so good. Absolutely. Nigel McGuinness is fantastic as well. I think the thing that helps these guys is that they're actually used to be wrestlers at a fairly good standard.
Yeah.
And the fact they used to be wrestlers, that really transitions well. Whereas people like a Tom Phillips, they've never been in the ring, I don't believe. They've never been a wrestler, if that makes sense. I guess Corey Graves was in the ring. You could say JR was never a wrestler, but the Kim was. I think it's a really good point.
That's why they tend to work they tend to work better as your colour commentators because they're the ones that have been in the ring. I mean, you go back through a lot of the colour commentators through the years, and they've all pretty much been former wrestlers. I mean, you had Macho Man was doing your colour commentary at one point. Obviously, he was a wrestler. Yeah, it's just loads from down the years. The former wrestler is always the really good colour commentator. But yeah, like I said, Wade Barrett's been killing it on NXT as well, man. But yeah, they just need to stop chopping and changing it.
Definitely going to go to the last comment before we end the show today. So Review Geek 3000, Samoa Joe put the title on him. Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, Rude, just name a few. WWE need to get more creative. They've got a lot of time to fill on the 3 hours of Raw. I think next year, obviously 80,000 seat stadium in WrestleMania, they're going to have to be on the ball with these matches. I'd love to see them have a graph of where they're going over the year, from January to March. They can follow it through. Obviously, injuries and stuff like that play up, but I think the top matches they put themselves.
There you go, Bobby Roode. To me, he's one of the top 3 worst booked since coming up from NXT. This guy was $1 million on NXT, and they brought him up, and all they did was just make him smile for his poxy.
That list is endless, though. You could say that about Andrade. You could say about Aleister Black, Nakamura.
Andrade was had decent feuds on TV. I mean, you're never gonna get not be funny. You're Aleister and Ricochet. They're number 1 and 2 permanently.
I think the biggest travesty in recent times, to agree with you, Steve, before we end the show, is Keith Lee. I know this guy's had some other issues. I understand that, but the booking from him coming up from NXT, this guy should have been a star. He should be on WrestleMania this year. He should be probably up there because of the way they've treated him and stuff.
You could already tell with Keith Lee. I'm not being funny. Keith Lee sat in NXT for 2 years before they did anything with him. That's a travesty in itself. The fact that he was in NXT for 2 years before, they had him do that sit in the crowd moment, and then they don't do anything with him for 2 years. They're
Yeah,
right to
that says it all.
gameplay, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. I think let's end it on a positive note. WrestleMania Night 2 tonight. I'm excited. It's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. We've got a main event where we don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be really good. Going to go to the very last comment just before we end it. Rated R for Wrestling. Hey guys, how's it going? Good afternoon to you, Anthony. I guess you're covering after the show last night. What a show it was, eh? Yeah, definitely. I think it's I think WrestleMania, this is the way you want to see it. I think the fact that it was, if you ignore the distraction at the beginning, the impromptu promos, it was only a 3-hour show. So it finished at a
unpredictability. That
length.
was the good thing about it, man. Unpredictability. That's always interests people. Is if you don't know what's going to happen, people will watch to find out.
Definitely. I'm going to go to the very last comment. This is the last one, I believe. I keep saying that, don't I? I agree. It's a total shame what happened to Keith Lee. Yeah, we agree. I think there's other issues there. It's a shame, really. I think ever since he came up without, he wasn't able to wear his original attire, even changed his music. It's
yeah, because he's got a belly apparently, and Vince doesn't like a belly. Yeah, that's a joke in itself.
I think that's one of them things. But no, that's it kind of from us here at Jonesy Chats Wrestling. In terms of content, we'll be back tomorrow to discuss Night 2. Me and Steve from SCW will be doing a Raw review on Tuesday, I believe. And we've got your NXT review. That's going to be dropping on Wednesday. So check that out. If you like Steve's content, check it out. It'll be on here. But I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for watching Jonesy Chats Wrestling. I will be on the Rated R for Wrestling channel shortly. We'll be discussing WrestleMania 37 Night 2, some more predictions as well, if you haven't had enough of my voice already. But thank you all for watching. This has been Jonesy Chats Wrestling with George and Steve. If you haven't already, please give us a thumbs up as you go through. And please also subscribe to the channel. And stay safe. Enjoy WrestleMania Night 2. And enjoy your evening. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay safe.